self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are conversation con artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am severely disappointed in the state of Alabama.
We
also known as Calamity Red.
We are conversation con artists, back for another wonderful, fantastic episode. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on point.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. Also, we're still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it to us that way. We did not get any letters this week, but I have two things that happened to me this week that I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
So I work for a nonprofit and I'm a therapist, as everybody listening know. Or if you knew, hey, we're therapists. That's our regular gig. And I got a call this week that was, I thought I was trying to figure out is he serious or so this is what happened. I got paged. They were like, hey, Reg, you have a call on this line. So I pick it up. And it's a guy saying that he wanted couples counseling. I was like, okay. Right now, the people that I'm taking need to have DHR cases just because I'm, doing my counseling part-time. And so right now I'm only taking DHR cases. So I told him that, but I try to get some information to see where I need to make a referral to. And I asked him what kind of issues he was having, because they're married in his marriage. And he said, well, my wife cheated on me with a stripper. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, from his voice, I could tell that he was white. And he said, yeah, my wife went to somebody's bachelorette party and there was a black stripper there and she slept with the black stripper. And I was like, oh. Okay.
They ain't sleep. They ain't sleep.
I was like, that's okay. That's terrible. And he was like, well, my mom told me that, sleeping with a black man it's a regular fantasy of white women. Is that true? And I'm like, the fuck? I don't know. First of all, I'm not white.
Okay, hold on. His white mama told him that?
His white mama told him that. So I'm like, what your mama been doing? So I was like, well, sir, I don't really, I don't know. I'm sure that's true for some people, but I don't know how widespread it is. He was like, well, I just don't understand. And this whole time I'm trying to let him know that I'm going to have to refer him. So I have enough information at this point to make a referral. He has the insurance, to, tell him to call his EAP. He kept fucking talking though. And so he was like, well, and I mean, we had already been having trouble in the bedroom. And I was like, oh no. He was like, and well, she's always had an issue with the size of my penis. So I don't know if that's what it is. If that was why she would sleep with a black stripper
Little mushroom.
And this whole time I'm on the phone, the fuck am I what am I supposed to say to him? This is the most weird fucking conversation. And so he says that, and so basically I was like, sir, like I initially told you, I'm only taking DHR clients right now, but you told me that you have insurance. So, it'd probably be best for you to go through your EAP. You probably still wouldn't have to pay for it, but most insurance plans have a EAP where you could get therapy. It may be a certain amount of sessions or it might be unlimited, just kind of depends on the policy that whoever you work for has. And he was like, is this, do bachelorette parties get out of control like that? And I'm like, I don't know. So I finally was just like, sir, listen, you're wrapped up in all of these external things. The thing that you need to be concerned about is that your wife was unfaithful to you. That's the focus. And so the fact that it was a black stripper, the fact that it was at a bachelorette party and that your penis might be small, all of those things all lead to your wife. It's not like this is going to explain it. Even if she did always have the fantasy of sleeping with a black man, doesn't make it okay for her to do that being married to you. So, the focus. And so I asked him, I said, is she willing to go to therapy? And he said, well, she doesn't know I know yet. So you calling around for therapists, you hadn't even confronted her about this and told her that you know. So I'm assuming, because my coworkers kept asking me, well, how does he know? I'm going to assume that one of Becky's friends who was there snitched her out. Because I don't know how else, either that or the wife got in contact with the stripper outside of that in the hood. But I feel like he would have said he found text messages or something like that. I feel like one of her friends was like, Paul, I didn't want to have to be the one to tell you this, but Suzanne was, she had sex with the stripper. Things got
and
a little
he
wild.
was black. Like,
yes,
like that. It's not enough that your wife. To me, that's like that don't have to be added to the pot, right? Like if somebody did tell him, they didn't have to add that he was black. They could have just said your wife did some things with a stripper. Yeah. So I feel like the person telling them that knew that amongst their culture, the person being black is worse. It's gonna have because they're black.
Yeah. Yeah, probably
racism.
So. That shit was like, and I've had couples call. I've had people talk about infidelity. That's not new, but it's like having this white man call, and he be so focused on the fact that. Because I'm wondering would he been as concerned if it was a white stripper? Like, because it was a black stripper, then you lead into, well, my penis is small, so maybe. So, like, would that have been a factor if it was another white man? Would you have felt like, oh, his dick must have been bigger? Or is it because it was a black man?
Okay. Let me retell the story just to clarify that I got what's happening.
Okay.
White man calls you.
Yes.
You notice he's white immediately.
Yes.
That's because of how he sounds.
He has the whitest, little nerdiest white man voice ever. Yes.
Okay. Is he frantic or is he like worried? He's
confused.
He's confused.
He's very confused. Like he doesn't understand. This doesn't make sense to him. He's just very confused. He's not frantic.
What is he confused about? Like either you're not happy that your wife had some different meat. Or there's nothing to be confused about.
He's confused about her. So what I feel like is he was trying to already excuse the behavior, right? Either it's okay, it's because my penis is small, or okay, white women have a fantasy about a black man, and she was encountering this black man, and so this is why it happened.
Or I didn't know bachelor parties were like this.
And I didn't know, yeah.
If you telling me that this is what happens at bachelor parties, then
okay.
I get it. You know, the next time she goes to the bachelor party, I'll understand what's going on.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to excuse the behavior to make it okay, more so than him being upset about it happening. Like I said, he kept it's like, sir, it don't matter. It doesn't matter if it was a stripper. I have gone to bachelorette parties. Like, just because she was there didn't mean she had to fuck somebody. So like all of these things that you're worried about or that you're talking about don't matter. Your wife had an extramarital affair with someone. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where she was at. That's what the focus is. But he's looking at all these outside things trying to like excuse it or make it okay. That's what I got from it.
Okay. So you think he's trying to excuse the behavior already?
Yes.
So
because he hadn't even confronted her.
Finds out that this happened.
Yes.
And because it was at a friend's
bachelorette party. Because they're already married. So she just went to one of her friends' bachelorette parties.
No, like I imagine when you, listen. I imagine when you're at a friend's bachelor party and it's a bachelorette party and there's a lot of people around and it's a stripper, like it's no way to do that discreetly.
No.
You know, it's not that.
No, it's
you
not.
don't. I mean,
I've been to bachelorette party. It's not
unless
like,
you slip the stripper your number and be like,
call me
later. You know,
no.
So everybody had to have seen this,
and so somebody that was there, I'm assuming, told him.
And the first thing he did was went to his mama, and said, "Mama, my wife slept with a stripper at the bachelorette party, and he was black."
And then mom, instead of being like, that bitch who cheated on my son, fuck her. Instead of her being like that, she's like, well, white women have fantasies about sleeping with black men. That's a regular thing.
Okay, segue. All right, so what this makes me think is that not only does mama feel like this, not only does mama feel validated that daughter feels like this,
daughter-in-law,
but there has to be other women in mama's circle that feel like this.
Yeah. Because that's your daughter-in-law. Like, I can't imagine my son. If my son came to me and told me that his wife cheated on him, somebody cheated on my baby, I don't give a good goddamn who it was. I'm not going to excuse that shit and be like, well, they have fantasy. No. bitch, you cheated on my son. That's what most moms would do, because this ain't her mom, this is his mom.
I would not do that as a father.
What? Be upset?
Yeah.
You just be like, oh.
Like, you chose a hell. Fuck you mean? If you pick a sucker, a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop, and you unwrap the package, and it all just fall crumbling to the ground. You didn't know it was tore up because it had a nice little wrapper on it, but you picked that one. My whole sucker, I picked the whole sucker. It was good. That's your mama. Okay? That's you. That's your fault.
But you're not gonna excuse the behavior and be like, well, white women have like that. That's just crazy to me that his mom.
I don't know what your threshold for accepting that kind of behavior is, son. I'm gonna tell you right now, if your mama cheated on me today, I don't know what I'd do, really. We've been in this for a long time. We produced you. You know, we've had ups and downs. If she cheated on me today, I might not leave her. I don't know. I don't know what your threshold is. You're young. Y'all don't got kids. You ain't got nothing tying you up to her. But that's your decision. But you chose that sucker. But
the fact that his mom immediately went to that, or maybe she didn't immediately go to it. I wasn't privy to that conversation. All I know is first thing out of his mouth after he told me it was a black stripper was that his mom told him that that's a common fantasy among white women to sleep with a black man. He asking me this, and he's dead ass serious. Is that true? Motherfucker, I don't know. I only sleep with black men. I don't know.
I feel like the conversation with his mama should have messed up more of his day. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when he called her, he didn't expect for mama to say,
no.
White women sometimes have these thoughts about sleeping with black men, and because people, mom, you, oh my god,
yeah,
you too? Oh my, no, not have you slept? Oh, how many? Oh no, did you sleep with one? How many have you slept with? Oh my god, it was what? Oh. Like, that's supposed to ruin more of his day.
He was very confused. That was the tone of the whole conversation with him. I didn't get angry from him. I would be embarrassed. He didn't seem embarrassed. Because the thing, what I found out later is after I got off the phone with him and I went to the lady to answer the phone, she was like, girl, as soon as I picked up that phone and he said he needed couples counseling, he was telling me something about a stripper. So he told the person who answered the phone, who's not even the person he needed to be talking to, about this. And she was like, no, let me get the counselor for you. Wait.
So as far as this happening at bachelorette parties, in porn, yes, every time.
Well,
Dancing Bear, don't look that up.
I'm not going
has taught me that a bachelorette party is always going to turn into some sexual shenanigans.
Okay.
I'm trying to be PC for those of you who have said that when we start talking about this stuff, it's uncomfortable.
So I have been to bachelorette parties. I've never been to a bachelorette party where somebody fucked the stripper. I have been to a bachelorette party where somebody kind of jacked him off, though. Like, it can get crazy.
Was she single?
Was she single? Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, let me just say this.
Did she know what she was doing?
It was after she started doing that, I was ready to go.
Uncomfortable.
I was so ready to go.
It was so uncomfortable.
I was ready to go at that point. I was like, no.
So let me.
No, that's what
is there that much appeal to having a stripper at a bachelorette party for women?
I think because
it's just the freaks in the room get live.
I think it's just kind of that, it's that the thing you're not supposed to be doing. Like men go to strip clubs and shit. It's strip clubs everywhere. Finding a strip club of men for women to go, that's a rare thing. So women don't really engage in this as much. And I think it's kind of that taboo. Like, I think everybody just kind of likes, we got a stripper, I feel like it's more about that.
Society told us we're not supposed to like this.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Exactly. So I feel like it now for the freaks in the room though, yes, it's a whole nother level. For everybody else though, I think it's just kind of this taboo thing you're not supposed to be doing. And it's kind of like, but for me, I knew there was going to be a stripper. I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to go because I know, like, it's watching some strange man like roll around on the floor and gyrate and shake his dick everywhere is weird to me. Like, it's just weird. And so I was like, shit, I don't want to go. But, you know, my friends were like, no, we need you to come. And so I was like, fine, whatever. And I was cool. Like, I was fine up until she went up there and grabbed her a handful of dick. And I was like, wow, really? Is things that bad out here for you that you jacking off the stripper? But whatever. So they do get kind of crazy because, like, if you're somebody that's freaky like that anyway, this is like the perfect environment for you. You like in heaven. So, but if you're not somebody that's like that, then you ain't going to a bachelorette party ain't gonna make you do no shit that you wouldn't do normally. So if his wife fucked that stripper, it's because she wanted to fuck the stripper. It ain't got shit to do with, oh, it's a bachelorette party, got out of hand. Because I done been to them, and that don't make me do shit because they doing it.
Okay, I'm still moving through the process.
Okay.
So we got that out the way.
Yes.
Bachelor party.
Yes.
If that happens, okay.
Yes.
Then we move to white women like think about this anyway.
And he wanted me to answer that, which I
Okay.
could not.
And then that moved to my penis might be inadequate.
Because they've already been having trouble. First, he just said trouble in the bedroom, and I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't want to know. But then he felt the need to elaborate. And then that's when he let me know, you know, he didn't say his penis was small. He said that she's always had a problem with the size of his penis. So I don't know what that means.
See, this make me think of how when you talk about how secretive and closed off the black community is with sharing stuff.
Oh yeah,
this man done let
this
out
white man
all of
ain't
his
give a fuck.
insecurities.
He ain't care.
Everything.
He ain't give a shit.
The level of open that he is like.
And this is on the phone. Like, I can imagine. I don't even want to know if I had scheduled them and he came in, the shit that I would have heard. This is over the phone. He just telling me all of this, like, and.
So I have a theory.
Okay.
What I think is that I don't think that he's even mad. I think he's mildly intrigued.
You think he wants to be a cuckold?
I think he wants to watch.
A cuckold.
I think that's what he want to do. I think that okay, for those of you who don't watch, who don't dabble into the world of
pornography,
sexually explicit videography.
Pornography.
That word got a bad rap. That word is like,
but
that's like retarded. That word is like, you know, it's like porn. It has so much negative connotation to it.
Okay.
It's like, you know,
that's what it is.
It's sexually explicit videography.
All right.
That is, you know, so if you haven't dabbled in that, a cuckold is a very specific fetishized situation for white men where they like to see their white women be sexed by a black male, which is referred to as a bull.
And he's the cuckold.
And the man is the cuckold. I think that he is trying to figure up a way to work on communicating that to her.
Okay, well, I definitely don't want to help him with that. So I'm glad that I wasn't. So I, again, encourage him to call his insurance, because where I work is a nonprofit. We're one of the only places that service people who don't have insurance. So I'm very hesitant to take on any insured clients just because they have so many more other options where I could leave that slot open for somebody who may not have any other options because they're uninsured or their insurance doesn't cover that particular thing. So, but what I imagine happening was him coming in and asking me questions about black penises, because once he saw that I was black, being like, so, and I just didn't want it. Like, I just felt like it was just going to be bad. It was going to be uncomfortable.
I don't think it was confusion that you were hearing. I think it was hesitance.
It sounded confused.
Hesitance. I think he just wanted certainty that that's what happened. I think he didn't quite know if he should believe the information he got. So he was like, I want to believe it because, if I already know that she likes having sex with black men, I'm in there like swimwear. Okay? So he's like, do women really do this at bachelor parties? I mean, bachelor parties can get a little crazy. Yes, check mark. Mama, she kind of slept with a black guy. What's going on? Well, sometimes we have those fantasies. Check mark. Yes. My penis is inadequate. This might be what leads her to have sex with men that stereotypically we believe have big penises. So I wonder if that's a reason that she went to another guy. If so, yes, check mark.
I could not answer any of those questions for him. And I told him that, I said, you know, any situation depends on the people within it. So like, even if the bachelorette parties do get out of hand, this is about your wife specifically. It's not about bachelorette parties. It's not about strippers. It is about your wife. But again, it just seemed like he was trying to excuse the behavior.
You should have gave him some meat positivity.
What? No.
Sir, that is your meat.
No.
It is yours.
Nope.
It does not matter how big or how little it is. It's what you have. And you own that.
I was not going to do that.
You believe it. You value yourself and every single part of you.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
No. Nah.
Don't you do body positivity with your teens?
I do body positivity with my teens. That has not, as of yet, extended to penises and vaginas, though. Like, so that'd be weird.
You don't tell your girls to check their tacos out every now and then?
Why would I? I'm not their gynecologist. That's what a gynecologist does.
You think your kids that work with you got a fucking gynecologist?
Yeah, a lot of them do. Or they go to the health department. Either way, because their parents take them and get them on birth control. They do. Let them tell them that shit.
No, you the one need to be telling these kids they need to be inspecting their private parts to make sure ain't no extra bumps, ain't no lumps. They know what it's supposed to look like.
No.
Really?
No.
You're not doing that?
No, I'm not. Are you doing that with your kids?
Yes. I got condoms in the car for the boys that I work with.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't even think I'd be allowed. They probably freak out if so what you have to, right now anyway, some of the kids wouldn't care, but right now the kids I have in my caseload, the parents would fucking freak. And I do mine in the office. I'm not meet with the kids like the parents.
I ain't saying pass out condoms. I'm saying in the least, listen, if you're going to have sexual, and I do it with weed too. Listen, if you're going to smoke weed, we going to give you some harm reduction information, okay?
I just had a kid get some bad weed this week. That was laced with something. He probably smoked some
synthetic. What was the reaction?
He had to be hospitalized.
He probably smoked some synthetic. That probably was not weed. Or because even if it was it would have had to be laced with a chemical that ain't even a substance that people use. It would have had to been some cleaning agents or some shit to send you to the hospital. Otherwise, it was
he got hospitalized.
It was some synthetic. But yeah, I just try to give them harm reduction information.
Well,
even though we don't have a harm reduction model in Alabama for dealing with shit, I let them know, listen, do not smoke a blunt that was already rolled and handed to you. Don't smoke shit that people just give you, because unless you saw that shit rolled and smoking what they did to it, don't do it. The same thing for sex. Listen,
I have sex talks with them, I just don't tell them go inspect their vagina or penis.
I mean, you need to.
Well, do I have any that are having sex right now? I got the girl that is doing oral and all of that, and we had conversations about how STDs could be spread that way, but she has not had intercourse yet.
She can't just be putting any meat in her mouth.
Yeah, we talked about it.
She need to be inspecting them things to see if there's any bumps.
Now she's putting vaginas in her mouth because she's got a girlfriend. So
same thing. She can still get herpes on her lips.
She can. We've talked about it.
But she need to be investigating smells and looking around to see if something don't look right. That's what you need to be telling them that if you ain't telling them nothing else.
But this grown man, I was not going to give body positivity by telling him that his penis is great. I don't know.
I mean, not over the phone.
I wasn't going to do it. Listen.
Maybe if he became your client.
This was a first. Like I said, I've had clients, I've had couples that were cheating, infidelity has happened. I've had couples where I had a couple where the wife was the one who wanted to have sex and the husband didn't. She was like, he got low testosterone or something because I'm always trying to have sex and he don't never want to have sex. But this was the first race influence. They white, the stripper was black. He want to know if black had anything to do with it. He want to know if black means that he had a bigger penis than him.
What if he came to see you for anxiety and depression, and y'all worked together for 4 months until he told you this was why he had it?
I mean, I'm not a sex therapist. Or
Well, you don't
I
have to be a sex therapist.
I know, but like, I wouldn't focus in on his penis. I would just.
I mean, but it would still be a part of the dialogue at some point. It could be.
It could be a part of the dialogue. I don't know that I would make it a part, because what you have to understand is, and I'm sure that you've experienced this too. I'm a woman doing this with a man, and so transference happens, and I have a lot to keep boundaries, and so I have to be real careful with that kind of shit anyway. Because if you start, I do want to promote body positivity. I do want to encourage. I do want to make sure that I'm helping him help his self-esteem. But you also have to be very careful, because people get that shit misconstrued. So when you're talking about like sexual stuff with somebody of the opposite sex, or even the same sex, I got lesbian clients. I have to be careful. You just have to be mindful of those boundaries. Just not even for myself, but just so that they don't get the wrong idea and I don't do more harm than good. So with a man having that conversation with him, I have to be really careful about like how I went about that. Mm-hmm. Because I've had a client I had to refer out because he got a crush on me, like, and I just couldn't work with him. He was not able to get past that, and all it was is because I had been encouraging, but I'm encouraging because I'm your therapist. I'm not encouraging because I'm a potential partner for you. So you have to, and that same thing with women. With you would have to be careful about having those kind of conversations with a woman who may or may not have, people develop a crush on. We're the person in their life that's supportive of them and that is non-judgmental, and that can get misconstrued easily. So I have to be careful about that shit. And I only had that one time where I had to refer, because it just wasn't. We just were not going to be able to work together. And all the time I've done this, that's only happened once. But yeah, that call though was just. I walked out. I was like, did y'all have somebody call up here as a joke? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what the hell was that? So that's probably the weirdest phone call I've gotten since. And I mean, I have had people call about all kind of shit, but like his wife's fucking a black stripper and him being, insecure about the size of his own penis. That was new. It's a new situation for me. The other thing that occurred this week is my cousin called me and she got back on on Tinder, and she went out on a date, and I was like, y'all know I've been talking about how I hate dating and I don't want to do it, but I know I gotta make myself do it. So I hopped back on Tinder, was swiping along, swiped on this 40-year-old man. I'm going to read to y'all the conversation that we had. Now, this is a very short conversation, and I just want you to see how quickly this shit escalated. Keep in mind, this conversation was had at 11:24 p.m. Okay, so this is almost midnight. He says, "Hello, sexy, how are you?" I said, "I'm good, how are you?" He said, "I'm good, just bored. What are you doing?" I said, "Just chilling at home, talking to my cousin," because I was on the phone with my cousin at the time. He said, "Want to do something fun? You are very hot." So right there, I'm already like, oh, this ain't gonna go nowhere good. Like those two sentences together usually is gonna mean some fuck shit. So I was like, something fun? ? And he said, "I would love to give you a nice and relaxing massage. Do you like massage?" I just didn't respond after that.
Why not?
What the fuck am I supposed, like, at that point I'm like, he's crazy, I'm not gonna continue.
You're supposed to activate troll mode. You supposed to come up with you supposed to string him along to a point where you be like, "Nah, bitch," and then be done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't supposed to just stop. Just get us some entertainment.
I guess I could have, but I guess in the moment I was just like, this nigga, like, really? You
need to turn on your Joker or your Riddler smile when that happens. Be like, got a joke for you.
It's 11:30 at night and you talk about giving somebody a massage that you've never met. First, I could be crazy. He don't know. Like, that
You'd be like, "Ooh, a massage sounds good. What are your credentials?" Credentials?
Yep.
Just keep going from there. Whatever he say, just Find a way to be an asshole a little bit more.
I mean, I can do that. I'm
should
good
do
at
that.
that. I'm good at that.
I want to see what you're capable of. I want to see what you're capable of
Well,
doing.
I'm back out on these Tinder streets, so I have plenty of opportunity because, listen, I'm telling y'all, like, there was a guy with a foot fetish. I sent that. I don't know if you saw it. I screen capped it. I'm going to read to you what. Because I screen capped it because it was so cringy. So all of his pictures were pictures of feet. Which I just, people who like feet are weird to me. It's a fetish I don't get. Okay, so his name is Mr. Soul Lover. He's 34 years old, and he put his job as CEO at Toes and Souls 101. Hello, I'm only here for beautiful and curious women who are interested in the foot fetish world. Feet must always be pedicured and maintained. No chipped polish, please. First timers are welcome. Please be respectful, as I will be with you always. I look forward to worshiping your goddess souls and toes. Please follow our page on Facebook, Toes and Souls 101, as this is a growing business. If I like your profile, that means you may fit what I'm looking for. Please, queens, don't be shy. That's his Tinder profile. I was like, okay, wow. Well,
that's another fetishized genre.
It is.
In the sexually explicit videography that I happen to scroll up and down every now and then, where a woman is handling him with her feet. And I'm like, how does that fetish develop?
That's what I said.
What is necessary for you to?
That's what I said.
mean, what did you sleep on the end of the bed with your mama or something? I don't know.
With a feet in your face?
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. Like,
I
have no idea how that develops.
Feet is weird.
The way fetishes develop is weird, man.
It is.
You got to be careful with your friends and your people, man. Like,
you never know.
When you're raising kids, man, you just never know what's going.
I don't know if I tell. When I was an intern, when I was getting my master's, we had a kid come in. I did not see him. My supervisor did, but his parents came in first. So he was Googling something, don't remember what, and somehow came across furrying and got addicted to furrying porn. And if you don't know what furrying it is, it's where people dress up in like mascot uniforms, like animals, and they have sex, and they are attracted to other people in mascot uniforms.
You used the P word.
What P word?
The not good word. Sexually explicit videography.
I'm not. That's stupid. I'm not doing that. It's too much. It's quicker just to say porn. He got addicted to furrying, and the parents didn't know what to do because like his laptop was full of it. But like it was a random, he just randomly came across it, watched it, and it clicked with something inside of him. And so, and my actually, I talked to my current clinical director on Thursday, I think. And he has somebody who, and I don't know what this is because I told him, I don't think this is furrying. It's I don't know. They do the same thing, but like this person feels like they're an animal. And I don't think that's a part of furrying. Is that's
a part of the genre.
Is it feeling like an animal?
There are subgenres in furrying. Because I don't know if you remember, I showed y'all the picture of the girl who had her furrying personas. Mm-hmm. Where she drew pictures of her furry personas. Mm-hmm. But then I met another girl on OkCupid who she always like had cat ears on all her pictures, but she don't put on no costumes or nothing, but she act like she's a cat, like a feline. And I don't know if she expects the person she's with to be a cat too, or if they supposed to be a human. I don't know. And be
her owner.
Yeah,
because that's a thing too.
But that goes into those subgenres of that fetishized.
Well, his person thinks they're an animal and also engages in furrying behavior. So
see, this is my thing about guys like that. The reason they exist is because they can find women who is willing to have them come over and have a massage, because there is a group of women who would like that interaction. But that gives them the boldness to think that they can do that with everybody.
You asked me at 11:30 at night when this is the very first conversation that we've had about coming to give me a massage. Bitch, bye. Like, I watch way too much ID channel. Like, the first time I meet somebody is not going to be at night. And it's gonna be like at a coffee shop or some shit. Like, I don't want you to, because guys will be like, I can come pick you up. I got a car. I'll meet you. Like, I don't want you to know where I live, because for all I know, you're crazy. So I don't need you to come pick me up. I'll meet you at the restaurant. Which restaurant? We just need to decide on the time. I will be there. But like, I don't need you coming to get me, because I don't know if you're crazy yet or not. I don't want you to know where I live. Shit. There was another guy who I screen capped. His name is Malik. He's 34. He put his occupation as drug dealer. He said, I'm asked to call you or FaceTime you. Only interested in hood females. Don't care about your future business or what book you're reading.
Damn.
He's honest, at least.
I swear, if I was a pharmacist, I would definitely put drug dealer in my profile with a picture of me at work.
He looks like an actual drug dealer, though.
I imagine he does.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like
clearly.
a street pharmacist, for real.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, but I don't know why you would put that on Tinder.
And that you only want hood females. He don't care if you read or if you have aspirations.
He's looking for somebody to beat up on.
He is, basically. Yeah. So
to steal their money. Hey, good, them income taxes. I'm trying to re-up. Let me get a couple of $1,000.
Basically, that's what well, look, I appreciate the honesty. That way I won't waste the swipe on him, because I already know I'm not who you looking for, player. I'm not a ride or die. I'm not hood. I do have aspirations, and I read books, bitch. So
y'all are good. Y'all are good. It's good when you run into a dude that's actually stupid. Mm-hmm. Because he do stuff like after the first two sentences say, "You want a massage?" You know, it'll be worse if he pretended like
true.
He was the stand-up guy and just all he wanted to do the whole month was to give you that massage.
I appreciate the honesty. Like I said, I didn't even like get upset, or I was just like, this nigga, and I just didn't respond after the massage message.
This guy,
like the fuck. So those were the two interesting things that happened to me this week that I thought I would talk about in lieu of a letter, since we didn't have a letter. That call, man, that call was crazy. I hope he gets his life straightened out. If he wants to be a cuckold and she with it, I hope, whatever it is they need to do. Whatever it is they need to do. But I have a feeling that this is going to be a situation where she ain't going to be with it. I just feel like this was something she did and like never thought he was going to find out about it. She's going to be mad at Becky or whoever told on her, because she's going to have to know it was somebody at the party. How the
Which
fuck else?
one of y'all told them?
One of y'all had to have told, because nobody. How would he know? The stripper didn't tell him. He didn't know the stripper. So it had to be one of you bitches. One of you bitches called my husband and told him I fucked the stripper. Who was it? But if you have a question, did you have anything that happened to you this week that you were talking about before?
Nope.
Okay.
I went to a training.
Okay.
I went to a training. And this training was for working with black men aged 18 to 29.
Needed training.
These dudes were so raw.
Good. That's what so I feel like that's the difference when something's catered to a culture as opposed to just like overall you can get to the way that you need to. That's how you reach 18 to 29-year-old men, is being honest and real and not like clinical.
Let me tell y'all something about the African American community. The limits are endless when you can approach somebody and say, as a professional, and say, "What's up, my boy? You straight?"
Yep.
That reaches a long way.
It totally does.
The problem is you can't be white and say it.
Nope. It's unfortunate, but you can't, because it's going to have the opposite effect.
It's going to have the opposite effect.
You're patronizing them. You're pandering. Like, it's not going to come across the same.
Yeah. Like, I was in juvenile drug court, and it was evident that some of the people in the room wanted me to know that they knew something about my culture. One guy out of the blue just told me he voted for Ben. He wrote in Ben Carson. Okay. The only reason you would ever tell me that is because Ben Carson is black.
Not realizing that we don't fuck with Ben Carson.
True enough, but I know what his intent was. I don't
even
think
fuck with that nigga.
I don't think they know that I'm as black as I am. But the only reason he told me that was because Ben Carson was black. He would not told me if anybody he wrote in was white. He would not have told me that, because the conversation we was having was some stuff Trump was doing, and I know that all of them in the room had voted for Trump and were talking about the stuff he was doing that he disagreed with. So I didn't get in on the conversation.
Is it better that he wrote in Ben Carson and voted for Trump? I don't even know which was worse.
He didn't vote. Well, he didn't vote for Trump. He wrote in. It's not, but for whatever reason, another person assumed I had listened to Hamilton already because it was hip hop. He started the conversation with me like I never knew Hamilton was as good as it was. Why, are you interested in seeing it? I said, what is Hamilton?
You have seen it or heard it.
Not at that point.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Subsequently, because of that conversation, I went and listened to what the fantastic, amazing experience that Hamilton is. Just listening to it.
Yes.
On Spotify, fucking phenomenal. I swear to God, I've listened to it 100 times.
Oh, so then before this, you hadn't.
I had not. He introduced me to it, and if I can go back, if Lin-Manuel Miranda could figure a way to make all history the way that he did at Hamilton, it would be fucking amazing. The issue is Hamilton is just a perspective of how Alexander Hamilton existed, because the way other people would look at him as manipulative or narrow-minded, this painted him as like a genius, but it was a lot of opposition he had. Thomas Jefferson did not like him, so people who like Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton is going to be an enemy. John Adams did not like him, so people who are John Adams fans are not going to like Hamilton. So depending on your kind of allegiances when it comes to history, you may not like Hamilton, and it's a very biased way of telling the story, but I did learn a lot of stuff in that.
But he assumed you saw it because you were black.
He assumed I saw it because I was black. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not saying nothing behind this stuff, but in my head, this is what black people do.
Yeah.
We walk away with experiences that we know may be rooted in ignorance and or racism, and we have it, and white people don't know we have it because it happens so much, it ain't even worth confronting.
No, it's not. It literally... It happens so much that it just really isn't worth it.
It's just not. It's
you
never
would
worth
spend half
confronting.
your life fucking doing that if you did it every time it happened.
Yeah, it's subtle, and so when white people hear us saying little shit like Becky called police on a barbecue, and they say, "Well, what's the big deal if you weren't doing anything wrong?"
Oh my God.
And I watched a video the other day where the police stopped at his yard.
And he was minding his own fucking
business
in his yard. The dude with the dreads.
Yeah, and was like, "Hey, Quentin." He's like, "I'm not Quentin." And he said, "Yes, you are." Took him, tried to detain him, and was asking him for his ID.
And he's like, "I'm at my house, and you have no reason, no cause."
Everybody in the comments say, "Well, if he would have just shown him his ID, he would have known."
I'm at my fucking house. I ain't gotta show you shit.
This is the thing. It's not about the fact that if he showed his ID, it would fix the problem. It's the fact that if every police officer in that whole area could just come up to black folks, demand that you show their ID with no reason, probable cause is they shit.
Yep.
They wrote that shit in the rules. They wrote that shit in the rules. So you need to have probable cause.
Yep.
And probable cause clearly can't be you look like somebody. Because that don't work.
That's racist in and of itself. The partners, when he saw it, and the wife were both like, they just both seemed like he did not look anything like whoever the fuck this Quentin character was, because he had a picture of him on his phone. I guess Quentin had a warrant. I don't really know. But the officer had a phone out with Quentin on there, and it just was the most ridiculous shit.
But it's the idea that
you at your house.
I should not have to, I should be able to have all of the conveniences or all of the inconveniences of a white man.
Yep.
And our society currently shows that we have vastly more inconveniences to our white counterparts.
Yep.
And yes, showing the ID would have fixed the problem, but if I just show you my ID to fix your bullshit today, I'm going to be having to show you my ID to fix your bullshit in 50 years. So I don't know what I would do in this situation. Because yes, a part of me just don't want the problem to escalate. And that's a part of me as a diffuser of bullshit. But the other part of me, a part of me say, I can't let this fucking bitch get away with forcing me to do something and he learned nothing from it.
Nope.
He get to continue to do this shit.
And do it probably.
Whoever
I don't know. The next person is he think look like quitting gonna get it too.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
But the training is good that it caters to.
But
because you have to.
So we had the guy who said that I was talking about Ben Carson. We had the guy about Hamilton. Oh, and we had the other guy. He tried to give me. He gave me daps.
Successfully?
Now, listen, I don't know if y'all know about. Yes.
He successfully
Yes.
did. All right.
Yes. Listen, let me tell y'all something about daps. All right. Let me just go on and break daps down. Daps are complex.
They are.
Daps vary from person to person.
Yes, they do.
Example: when you look at Fresh Prince, Will and Jazz had their little dap where they did a thing. That like everybody had their own daps. Now let me tell you about all the different daps I go through. I'm a big man. Big men have different daps. Okay? Like if two big men give each other daps, that's different. Versus skinny dudes, because I can't flex all my okay, let me tell y'all how daps go. So you got daps where you just slap each other hand,
slide and
clasp the hand,
yes,
and then pull back.
Yep.
Now, you supposed to snap with the pull back.
Yes.
You supposed to snap. If you pull back and don't snap, it tells something about you. You know what I'm saying? So an assistant principal at one of the whitest schools around here gave me all the regular daps in the office.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
He been interacting with them damn kids. Well, no, he's at a white school.
Yeah, this is like all the white administration. We did a whole little dap thing, and they was looking like, what is that? we should do that. How do you teach me that thing you did with that guy? You know? But if you don't snap, it means something. It means either you've been professional for too long, or it means something. But like every kid I do it with, we snap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a snap to me make me realize, okay, you know about some daps. Then you got another variation, and this is the one where big man play into it.
The one where you hit, you like come.
Yes, it's the same. Yeah. So you do the same. You started off the same way,
slide
and you clasp,
but pull
instead of pulling out and snapping, you pull each other towards each other, give daps,
shoulders.
Yeah. See, me being a big 320-pound dude, I can't do that how I would with skinny dudes, with big dudes.
Because you're going to knock them over.
Well, not knock them over because I'm holding their hand,
but
right?
They're going to stumble. They're
going to feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when I'm hooping and somebody come down to paint that's little and I just stand there. They finna have a fucking bad time. I ain't even doing nothing special. I'm just standing there. Like, skinny niggas be getting mad at me for just standing in the paint because they didn't change what they was doing. They ran straight into me like, oh man, like you ran into me, bro. Like you saw me there. You made this. I don't know if you thought I was gonna get out of the way or what. You know. So with big dudes, like we do a full pull in, boom, shoulder hit, and then slap on the back. Like that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he did his white version of black daps with the snap, y'all. And this man's 68 years old.
What?
This man old. I went to his Facebook to see how old he is.
I wonder if he's
68.
been at black schools before he was at this school, and maybe he learned.
Oh, this wasn't the principal. This was like he just been arresting black people his whole life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What probably happened is he probably arrested. I don't think he was arresting. I think that they were being arrested, and he ended up talking to him.
Oh, okay.
And communicating with him, expediting the process. But on the back end, probably still doing shit to fuck him over.
Yeah, but he picked up some culture from that.
Yeah, he picked up some culture from it. Like, so it's like that little shit that's going on. So this training was about how to apply. It's a manualized version of how to be a therapist and a professional and reach the African American community. Mm-hmm. Because if you are a black person in whiteface in your actions,
oh yeah,
you're not. They not. If you walk up like, "Hey, how you doing, sir? It's a good day today, right? Hey everyone, I'm glad that you're here at this class. My name is Mr. On Point, and I just want to let you know that we're going to get this done. We're going to do everything we need to do to get y'all all in this system."
They're going to look at you like you a sellout, and they're not going to trust you.
That is the Eurocentric model that exists. It don't take into account like all models of interacting with people in terms of these training modalities is about the research that helps you understand how to apply whatever message you're trying to apply. It don't take into account the cultural aspect. It don't take into account the post-traumatic slave syndrome. It don't take, which look that up. It don't take into account all of the experience of the black community. Diversity ends up being an afterthought in all of those other trainings, but this one sounds like when these two dudes got ready to make this program, they said, let's make some black ass shit. It feel like that was the first sentence they made. They said, and that was the core of what they decided to do.
But you have to reach people where they are. Like, and I realize that I'm able to do things as a therapist that like my white counterparts cannot. You know, I make jokes with my. I had an anger management person who every week her hair was different. Every fucking week. So when she come in, I'd be like, God, I didn't even recognize you. You look like a whole different person with this hair. Now, if a white person had said that, it would have been offensive. Same thing. I've like got on the people like, why you got this bonnet on your head and you knew you was coming to my class today? Why you come out of the house with that on? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the ability to do that and it not be offensive. I have the ability to talk to them on a real level. And in doing that, I get so much further with them than if I came across, like, if I got real, like, hyper professional and they don't respond to that. You have to know your audience and respond accordingly and reach them where they at.
So, and I hate trainings, but this was one of the most engaging trainings that I've been in. If you're a professional, look up HEAT training.
That's cool.
It's habilitation, empowerment, accountability therapy. And it just helps you. It's a whole manualized 9-month group running program, open group running program. So it's something that can constantly be, you know, moved around. It's really good.
That's cool.
So that was my week. That was really significant. It was a judge in the training with us, some probation officers, some local people who own businesses from the community. There was a Latino cat there from Denver, Colorado, who was tatted all the way up. All the way up. His head was tatted. Like every bit of his head. The only thing you could see was his face. And he was extremely white passing. And
gotta be prison.
I thought he was white when I got there. I just thought he was the white dude in the room.
Oh. He happened to be Latino.
He's Latino. He don't like the term Latino. He identifies as Chicano.
Okay.
So yes, he spent 20 years in prison.
The tattoos. That excessive amount of tattoos is usually indicative.
He spent a significant amount of time using substances. When he was there, he said, I'm 6 years out of gangs, 7 years out of drugs.
Damn.
And he's from Denver, Colorado, right? This, weed capital now.
Mm-hmm.
But Chicano, he said that his grandparents were full blown, I don't know what group. It was some Spanish speaking group.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that Chicano usually means that his grandparents decided not to let him learn Spanish.
Okay.
He was white passing, and they wanted him to assimilate as best he could.
Because he would have a better time.
So he said the Chicano population are people that are of Latino heritage but don't know Spanish.
Okay.
Because there was a big move amongst the Latino culture to not teach some of their kids Spanish so that they can integrate into America. Because when he talk, he don't sound like he have any bit of Spanish even lingering there. That's why he's saying white when we first. And he said the time he spent in jail was a lot more complicated because they threw him in the Spanish populations because of his name.
And I'm sure the Spanish people weren't with it.
Yeah, not only that, he said it's like 3 different Spanish groups there because he said Mexicans are their own thing. Every other Latino group, they don't fuck with Mexicans.
Yeah. I learned that. I had a Puerto Rican client who her baby dad is Mexican and her family fucking hates it.
Sheila. Anytime somebody would call Sheila a Mexican, This is my college roommate that we both know. Mm-hmm. She's Puerto Rican. Anytime anybody refer to her as Mexican, that's the worst thing you could have said.
Yeah, they don't like that shit.
So he was telling us that in prison, Mexicans are their own thing. And then he said there's 2 more groups. I can't remember the breakdowns of who's in the groups, but one of them crazy. They do their own thing. They really, really isolated. And one of them is the group that they threw him in. But he was like, and then it's a group of others. Like he had to be like isolated from all of them and his own thing because he couldn't understand nothing they was talking about.
Yeah.
But it was a really good training. It just had a diverse group of people that helped me learn some stuff about myself in this little training, or at least helped me ask some more questions about myself, because this was about Black fatherhood, about being absent. And he had us write a personal narrative about our lives and a program that we would create from that. And all I thought about was when I was early, my daddy got took away from me and my family because of his own drug dealing and shit. And that's cool. He made his own decisions, consequences from the decisions. But our government, our system, our state does not care about the ripple effects of what happens to a family after the money breadwinner is taken away.
Yep.
And so we went deeply into poverty after that. And nobody cared. Nobody cared because it's like they treated my mama and everybody around like accomplices to his crime, you know, not realizing that this kid is finna be out here without any resources or anything, you know. So it was a really good training, a good week. Cool. I hate that I missed seeing some of my clients, but it was still a good week.
Okay. Well, if y'all have a question you'd like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it to us that way. And because we were talking about the Black experience,
let me add something real quick.
Okay.
When this show goes out on Monday night, I'm also going to create a Facebook post that if you are having any thoughts during this episode, I would like for you to go and put some comments on that post. Clearly you don't have to, but I'm trying to find a way to get more engaged.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm deeply engaged when somebody writes. I have a conversation with you. We go back and forth. And so I just want to see if, you know, anybody listening would be so kind as to, you know, go to Conversation Con Artist Facebook page, find that post that I put up once the show come out, and let's get engaged. Later in the show, we're going to have like a question exchange, just some random questions that we're going to be asking. And if anybody got some responses they want to give, let's have that conversation. What you got? So
Black Twitter, I love them so much. They always have these things that go around, and this kind of goes in hand with what we were just talking about.
I
okay,
know what you're talking about too.
The real nigga dissertation.
Yeah.
Yes. So somebody tweeted out, what would your real nigga dissertation topic be? Now, for anybody that hasn't had to write a paper or hadn't had to read like research-based papers, a lot of them will have topics like unconditional positive regard, how to implement Carl Rogers' theory. Like, it'll be some shit like that. So these are supposed to be real nigga dissertation topics. My homeboy said, what's up? Courting and networks among Black men. When the street light comes on, a look at parental fears in urban environments after dark. Where y'all at? Discourse on timeless and transportation efficiencies within the Black community's cultural experiences. Yes, I do have McDonald's money. A discourse into financial self-care, even if the bill is not enough. They up under the sink. An examination of plastic bag recycling in the Black community. I have so many plastic bags. Like, I have a whole pile. Do white people do that? Is that just us? I'm curious about that. Because my mom did it, so I do it. Like, all the Walmart bag, whatever bag, I make a pile in case I need a bag for something. Or, for all you natural women, sometimes if I'm out of shower caps and I need to deep condition my hair, I'll use one of those. Because it works the same way. It keeps the heat in there and that same shit. That's my play cousin. Kinship ties and blood bonds within the African American family. Based on my prior study, no, she's just like a sister to me. Unrecognized polygamous relationship bonds. See, what had happened was a comprehensive treatise on the art of storytelling within the diaspora. Alternate title, Alright, so boom. After everything I did for you, mapping how parental guilt shapes black parent-child relationships. Who is Boo Boo the Fool? An in-depth look at black urban legends and folk tales. Close my door, you let my air out. An in-depth look into home sustainability and energy practices in the black community. You running up my light bill, examining utility management and teaching children fiscal responsibility. Take the chicken out the freezer. An examination of how black children learn to take individual responsibility for community welfare. I'm Not One of Your Little Friends. A deep dive into the development of child-parent relationships throughout adolescence to young adulthood. A look from across the room. How black people build community in a sea of whiteness and how it can build camaraderie or not. Was that the last one? Yeah, that was the last one. People in the comments had some that were pretty funny too, but I just think that goes into like being able to recognize those kind of things. Like, again, I ain't one of your little friends. I feel like it's something every black person has heard from their parents. Like, we have...
My mama wasn't like that.
Oh, my mama was definitely like, I ain't one of these little friends out here.
My mama was like, Jesus, we're going to church. Come on, let's practice this song. I wrote a new rap scripture for you. Mama.
My mom was quick to let us know that she wasn't one of our little friends. You didn't even have to say nothing disrespectful. If she in her mind felt like it was not an appropriate thing for you to say to her as your mother or as a parent, I ain't one of your little friends out here in these streets.
I came up with one. It ain't about a quote. It's just about a dynamic in the black community.
Okay.
It's called Salt or Sugar, a dialogue about the breakdown of close relationships due to grits preferences.
Yes, because that is a huge thing. Anybody who puts fucking sugar in their grits is disgusting. Why would you do that? Why would you have sugar in grits? That's not a thing. That's not okay. Salt and butter belongs in grits. That's it. Salt. Somebody else had for real, the history of word repetition to create emphasis and significance in storytelling within the black community. Like, for real though.
See, it's been done over time, but one of these Instagram dudes, what is it? I can't remember his name. Big Man Davis, maybe? I think his name is Big Man Davis. He be doing them videos where he be like, big fella, we talked about it on the podcast before. Mm-hmm. But he brought that out to where it's like deeply went into the culture even more now.
The repetition.
Oh, you big. You know what I'm saying? Like he's put that in his comedy, so it's like brought out that it was already a part of our culture. Don't get me wrong, but ain't nobody ever monetized it.
Yeah.
You know, he monetized it.
This one is hilarious because it's true. Come down and eat. The use of food and amnesia as a replacement for apologies in the African American parenting experience. Like, they whoop your ass to feel bad, and instead of like talking to you about it, it's like, come get this food. I fixed you a plate. What? I don't want no goddamn.
Ha Davis, not Big Man Davis. Ha Davis. That is me doing research to make sure that I'm not giving y'all bad information.
I just find it funny diving into the exposure of folly amongst our familial and romantic interactions. Because if somebody start off a sentence with, I just find it funny how it's not going to be a good conclusion to that sentence. I see you looking to positive reinforcement in the black community. See you out there doing your shit. Look at you.
That goes into that black man dialogue. Like, I see you, player. Instead of saying stuff like, I'm proud of your accomplishments and to see them brings value to my experience with knowing you. You can't say shit like that. You got, I see you. But like that, like that's the essence of what that training I went to was about. Like knowing what the language is, knowing what the dialogue is.
But it's so, every time I see these things that go around, it is so amazing how black people from every corner of this country have experienced a lot of the same shit in their upbringing. Like culturally, our parents did some of the same fucking shit no matter where it is that you live in. And so you can get on Twitter and somebody can say something and you like, my mama said that too, or you immediately recognize it. Like that's just amazing to me. And it just shows how in depth or how deep within our culture this goes. And so that it is important in working with people to be able to reach that, because it's such a widespread thing. Like even the bag, like I literally, all of these things, I immediately knew what they were talking about. Wasn't no question. Like there was one that said, you smell like outside. My mom used to say that shit all the time. We never knew what it meant. Like we would be outside playing and coming, y'all smell like outside. What? We were outside. So I don't know how to respond to that. But like, it's so amazing how like those kind of tweets, those kind of like things go around and everybody adds to it and we just all get it. We all know no matter where you come from. I don't know any of the people that made those tweets, but again, all of that is recognizable to me. And it just shows how much you can utilize that in making connections with people when you do work like what we do. It's just cool to see. So I just wanted to share that. One, because I thought it was fucking hilarious and I was dying laughing at some of these because I remember having to read all of them fucking research papers in grad school and undergrad and how the titles were very similar to that. They would have something kind of like simple and then it would be like this really in-depth description of whatever it was. So that was just cool to see. So I just wanted to bring that up. And it went along with what we just talked about too, so.
The only thing I got to talk about is Alabama and Alabama bullshit. If you are not aware, Alabama just passed the most restrictive legislation regarding abortion. And it is problematic. It essentially says that a woman can't have an abortion after 6 weeks. And there is no inclusion for if rape or incest happens in that.
Now keep in mind that this is Alabama. This is a southern state where a lot of the rest of the country already thinks a lot of incest and shit happens here. You then protect the idea of incest by saying if somebody gets pregnant because of this, you gonna have that fucking baby anyway. And they make it illegal. So there are repercussions. There are legal repercussions for if you do go have one that could have you in more hot water or get in more jail time than the person who fucking raped you. Do you know how ridiculous that is? How disrespectful that is to women? You mean to tell me that if I decide I don't want to have my rapist baby, I'm going to get locked up for more time than the nigga that raped me? Because that makes sense. That's okay. Alabama. And it was what? 12, 13 white men that made this decision, that voted on this, none of whom have vaginas or the ability to have kids.
Listen.
It's the most ridiculous shit ever.
I just want to talk about some things regarding abortion and kind of the origin. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the Christian origin of the abortion debate. There are plenty of times in the Bible where Catholicism is much more extreme on exemplifying these moments, but where something bad happened if you spilled the seed, if you pulled out, or if you spilled your semen in any way that led to a woman not being pregnant, it was a problem. And Catholicism took that idea and indicated that any time a sex is to be had, it should be had with a woman, and it should be had in a way that can have a child, and that child should be born because that child has been spoken about in the Bible as a gift from God. But I don't know if y'all knew that there was an abortion in the Bible.
I did not know that, and that's weird.
Now, this is the new international version.
Okay.
Go read any version. Got the same type of shit in it. I'm going to read it.
What verse, book?
Numbers, chapter 5, verses 11 through 31.
God damn, that's a lot.
I'm going to tell y'all what it's saying after this. All right.
11 through 31.
I don't think I'm going to read all of it. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, If a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him so that another man has sexual relations with her, and this is hidden from her husband and her impurity is undetected, since there is no witness against her and she has not been caught in the act, and if feelings of jealousy come over her husband and he suspects his wife and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her even though she is not impure, then he is to take his wife to the priest. He must also take an offering of 1/10 of ephah of barley flour on her behalf. He must not pour olive oil on it or put incense on it, because it's a grain offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing. The priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has had the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place her hands in the remainder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Then the priest shall put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to her husband, may this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. But if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man other than your husband, here the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. Wow. May this water that bring a curse into your body so that your abdomen swells or your womb miscarries. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar. If you know from my dialogue, I don't even fool religion like that. So don't know. But if you are a person that dibble dabbles in the Bible, read that, find out about it, and if this ain't a miscarriage or if this ain't abortion, let me know.
It sounds like taking the pill.
What it sounds like is a husband, in order to find out whether his wife was cheating, God told Moses to tell the Israelites to take her to the priest. And the priest gave her some liquid that was cursed. And she drank that liquid.
And to get rid of the baby if it was not her husband.
And this is the thing. If she's impure, meaning she had sex and got pregnant, it would terminate the pregnancy. But if she either didn't have sex or had sex and didn't get pregnant, then nothing would happen. This is what that verse sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like an abortion in the Bible.
Yeah.
Not only does it sound like an abortion in the Bible, it sounds like something that God directly told Moses, who took him to a priest to perform. So this goes back to the idea that people pick and choose out of the Bible what they want to value. One, in politics for political expediency, because they're only doing it because it brings value to their political platform for the people that'll vote for him. And the thing about Alabama being a state in the Bible Belt is that there are a lot of single issue voters. There are people who are going to vote for the politicians based exclusively off of this. And this legislation does not help anything. Now, that's just addressing the Christian component of it. Okay, I think Christians are the most deep advocates in terms of pro-life, but I'm just not comfortable calling them pro-life.
Because my issue has always been that they just want to get the baby here. That's it. Like, the baby get here and then fuck it, y'all. You figure it out from there.
They are pro-birth.
Yeah.
They are not worried about figuring out how to feed a child once they get here if they are a part of a family.
Provide education for
if they are part of a family that did not want that child. They are not going to figure out if the family does not want that child and decides to give that child up for adoption. They are not pro finding out what to do with children in an overrun foster and adoption system.
Nope.
They are not pro trying to find out how to educate these kids. They are not pro trying to figure out if those kids are brown, how to get them into a school system in which they have better educational opportunities.
Yep.
They are not pro if this child starts to commit crimes, how do we figure out how to reduce that crime through that child that we forced to be here to help. They are not pro-life when it comes to a child that has made those decisions because they were forced to be here. They were part of a family that were unwanted. They didn't know how to manage in an adoption or a foster system, and they end up doing crime and end up in a situation where somebody gets to choose whether they live or die. And those same people who said I'm pro-life are conveniently no longer pro-life at this point.
Yep.
Because they support the death penalty. So you are pro-birth.
Yes.
All
That's
these
all it
people
cares
are
about.
pro-birth
Getting the baby here.
and not pro-life. And it's a lot of rhetoric going around calling everybody else on the other side pro-abortion. Nobody is fucking pro-abortion. Nobody is pro, I want babies to die. That's just not how that shit work. They are not. People are pro-choice. The individual is supposed to be able to have a choice about what to do with their body, and it's a woman. So you can't be the same party of independence and, you know, the government not being in any of our decisions, but be okay with the government being in the decision of what a woman can do with her body regarding a birth.
And to leave out exceptions for incest and rape are just barbaric and ridiculous. To say that even if you're raped and you get pregnant by your rapist, that baby still deserves to live, and you can't kill that baby. Like, what? So fuck her and what she went through, or what that will mean for her and that child. The child being a reminder of a very traumatic incident. Like, all of these things, no, don't care. We just want babies born. Get them here. Doesn't matter. Just get them here. Now, when they get here, we don't give a fuck, because they're here now and they're your problem. But we want them here.
Another reality is if they think that abortion is going to reduce the amount of abortions that happen, these dumbass motherfuckers don't know why the abortion laws were even created.
Because people are still gonna go. It's gonna be a lot of people dying. It's gonna be
the
back
problem
alley.
It was not legal at some point.
Yep.
People were dying.
Yep.
Women were dying.
Yep.
Women were not having access to health care. Women were not having support when they came to the hospitals with the issue of trying to have a back alley abortion.
Yep.
So America had to address the epidemic that was no health benefits for women doing that.
And that'll still be exactly the same thing will happen.
But see, this is where the problem lies. The problem is the depth of how the conservative Republican mind is when it comes to this, is that they believe that birth as a concept happens early in life. Like, it's more so about the concept. So when you put that seed in a woman, to them, that's when life starts. That's when life starts. Not because science says that it's a life, but because the concept of life has been accepted. Because God has started a plan in which a whole person is going to come from that. It's about the concept of life. So to them, they don't look at any of those external factors and say, this is why this happens. They look at those external factors and say, this is supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's a fucking problem. Now, the biggest rebuttal that pro-life people have, that is the biggest pain in my ass, is that women use abortion as contraceptive. How many fucking times do y'all think they having sex? 8% of abortions have been more than 3. Only 8%. Only 8% of abortions have been 3 or more. So where all of these women that get an abortion every single time?
And the thing about it is the risks that come with abortion may mean that the very first time that you go, that might fuck up some shit and you won't have the ability to get pregnant anymore. So even if there were more people who wanted to, it may not even be an opportunity where they are able to, because just the procedure itself has a lot of risk associated with what it does to your reproductive system.
Not only that, do y'all know how much an abortion costs?
Yeah.
Abortion costs $300-$400. Mm-hmm. To use something as a contraceptive, if a woman has sex 100 days out of the year, which the rhetoric make it sound like they have a whole bunch of sex that they using abortions for.
Yeah. We just out here fucking all the time, apparently.
They would need $30,000 to have that many abortions. $30,000 fucking dollars to have that many abortions.
A lot of these women don't even make that yearly.
They don't. They don't make that yearly.
The fuck?
So that's really, really silly. Not only that, They make it seem like a youthful, inexperienced people.
No.
Over 50% of the abortions are performed on women over 30 who already have children.
Yep, who didn't want another one, who don't want to start over because their kids almost at the house. Like,
this legislation is punitive. This legislation is not about fixing a problem. This legislation is about, this is how we see the world. We want y'all to see the world. And the reasons that we're going to use is we're going to call you murderers. And we're going to put you in jail if you don't look at the world the way we look at the world.
Yep.
Because statistically, this will help nothing.
It's going to make it think about if every single birth that occurred goes for full term and the babies get here, and these women who were raped, incest, don't want the babies, give these do you know what the foster care system is going to end up looking like? Adoptions and all that. Like, it's not going to make, because I don't know why they think that the fact that they won't be able to legally get an abortion means that this going to make people have sex less, or I don't know what they think is going to happen, but back alley abortions are going to be a thing again.
Listen, they don't care. They don't care. They're not even voting on that. They're voting their moral conscience. The only thing that this legislation does is tend to the fact that there are people who live here and morally don't feel comfortable existing with people that will make a decision that they don't think should happen. Don't agree with. You could not know anybody that ever have an abortion. You can communicate to your children that you don't want to have an abortion. You cannot even have been to an abortion clinic. The idea that this exists and I exist around it, to them makes them complicit enough to say, we don't want nobody to do it. We don't want nobody to do it. Even if I don't see them, even if I don't hear them, even if I don't know what they look like, I can't let them be able to do it. And that is fuckery. As long as you don't feel the impact of what you're telling somebody they have to participate in, you're okay with it. Because you can look up a laundry list of senators that are anti-abortion, but have pushed their lovers to have abortion.
I'm sure, because they don't want to fuck up their marriage.
That shit is okay when you under the fire, but if you feel like it don't have nothing to do with you, it's okay. That's why a family that live in a little rural city where they can just go to church and read their Bible in the home can sit there and vote for legislation like this, because they don't feel the impact of it in the inner city. They don't feel the impact of it when it comes to poverty. And not only that, but they are not interested in finding solutions related to those things that normally push people into this situation.
Nope.
Sex is a coping mechanism. Coping mechanisms are used when people have trauma. In our society, trauma is invoked when you're living in poverty. The subjugated groups in our society were pushed into poverty because they're not white. So this is happening amongst a lot of groups.
Yep.
And not only that, but it happens to, like, white people get more abortions than black people. If you were thinking in your head, oh, this is a black thing, percentage wise, black people get the shit end of the stick and everything because of how our society is made up. But numbers wise, it's so many white people getting abortions. This that same shit as the welfare queen shit with Ronald Reagan, where Ronald Reagan, they put pictures online talking about welfare, making it seem like black women were going out and buying fucking fur coats with welfare and shit. And it changed the white perception of what welfare was to an entitlement, something that you were getting from the government just so you can be rich. And that's not what it ever has been. And that's not what it is in the community. Go step into the community where people are on welfare. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, you got a big screen TV. Are those new shoes? Like, the way that they expect people to live out here and their lack of willingness to do something about the conditions that people live in that push them into this shit, you're not fucking pro-life. You are pro-birth, and only for your own moral expediency. Expediency is my word of the day. I like that shit. It's the only reason you're doing that shit. And unless you got something else on this, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I was just very disappointed because when we make national news, it's never for no positive shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got splashed all over the country for some bullshit. And that's what Alabama does. We the bottom, all the shit we should be top in, education, jobs, bottom of everything.
You said we should be the top?
As far, I mean, that if you gonna worry about something and want to be this known for some shit, it needs to be because you have a great education system for the people that living these lives that you say you care about. That it should be that, as opposed to we being known as the state that don't give a fuck if women get raped or not. Have these babies.
I think these southern states creates the best people because you got to be a determined ass person to get out of this bullshit ass shit.
Fucking right.
That the state systems got you in. You in a state that's fit dead fucking last. Mm-hmm. Alabama's dead fucking last in education.
Everything. Yeah. We last in a lot of shit.
Us being successful is on our own fucking merits.
It is.
Like, we figured out how to get on the cliff without a goddamn ladder. You can't really get on a cliff with a ladder. But y'all know what the fuck I'm saying.
You know what he means.
That's nothing against. But at the end of the day, we the same level of smart as people in the state with the number one education. We just more resilient.
Yep.
We just understand what it looked like to not have shit. And the schools I go in today. So let me tell y'all, I go into the schools I teach. I don't teach. I counsel kids. The school on the rich side of town, I'll get a Chromebook and got their books on either a computer or on an iPad.
Yep.
They got electronic devices assigned to them. They got those, what do they call them boards with
smart boards?
They got smart boards. They call
Google Classroom. They use Google Classroom.
Let me see. Somebody asked me about it the other day. A teacher I know was trying to connect her Xbox to it. It's a Promethean board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the really good schools got Promethean boards. And I go to the poor side of town. I go to J.O. And
outdated textbooks.
The books we used to get where you had they had that stamp on the inside and you write your name in it and the year. Mm-hmm. It's overflowed. It's 10 years. It's 10 years worth of people's names. And that
information's not even correct anymore or accurate because stuff changes.
10 years worth of people's names in them books. Shit is ridiculous.
It's sad.
And we sitting here, and these motherfuckers is sitting over here acting like they are fucking pro-life. Mm-hmm. They ain't pro-life, man.
Pro-birth. They just want to get the babies here. So Deontay Wilder was a meme because he was talking about, what was it he was talking about? I just remember to this day.
Oh, he was talking about racial. It was a black reporter that asked him what experiences are you, because he was saying shit like, they done had us like this for a long time and it's on purpose. And a black reporter was like, what do you mean? What do you mean they've had us like this? And he was like, the fuck? Like, this is what's going on to this day. Like, that's where that came from.
This day. So there's another soundbite of him recently talking about a fight, and I just want to play it. I'm gonna play it real quick.
Hey, Dominique Brazil asked for this. I didn't go seek him, he seeked me. So if it comes, it comes. This is a brutal sport. This is not a gentleman's sport. I keep saying this is not a gentleman's sport. We don't ask to hit each other in the face, but we does anyway. And you can ask any doctor around the world, he'll tell you the head is not meant to be hit. Anybody can go. And on this particular time, we have bad blood against each other. This is the only sport where you can kill a man and get paid for it at the same time. It's legal. So why not use my right to do so? You understand?
We does.
I don't, listen. When it
I didn't seek him, he seeked me.
When it came to that last meme that he had, the to this day, he communicated that very eloquently. He didn't make them kind of mistakes. So I don't know if it's testosterone and adrenaline that's making him like he just in the moment right now, or if that first time was a fluke, or since then he been hit in the face too many times.
He might have been hit in the face too many times.
I don't know. That ain't the Deontay Wilder I remember from last time.
Listen, y'all, I played this before the episode started, and he was like, what happened to his English?
That man English has been compromised somehow. He was way too passionate last time for that shit to be like written or scripted. He said that shit from the heart. But now he talking about some seeked and does.
We does. What? Wow.
But then outside of the English, think about what he's saying. This is the only sport where you get paid to kill a man. Why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Because you shouldn't want to murder. That's why. Is that really how boxers look at boxing? I don't know shit about boxing.
That's
Somebody
how
tell me,
Deontay
are they
look
trying
at
to kill the people when they in there? Or are they trying to get the upper hand on them in a bout? I need to know. Because when I meet a dude that's a boxer, I really want to know if he got murder capabilities. I want to know if I wrong him somehow, if he gonna want to punch me until I can't fucking live.
So you stop breathing.
Yeah, I need to know that. All right? I need to know that. I mean, I don't even... It just don't make sense to me. Mike Tyson had some weird ways of looking at shit too.
He did.
Mike Tyson was like, if a boxer turned down a fight, that's disrespectful to me. That's taking food out of my family's mouth. I'm trying to make a living. So if I'm trying to fight you for a paycheck and you're not trying to fight me, yeah, I'm gonna have beef with your motherfucking ass. You know, and I'm like, that don't sound right. It's like, I feel like I need to just put together a whole bunch of videos of boxers. Because we know Muhammad Ali last interview was...
But it's what happened when you get all them blows to the head.
Man, Muhammad Ali's last interview was sad as hell.
All them blows to the head.
That fight that they told him not to fight, he went back on the Johnny Carson show, or whoever show he went on, that he had been on before. And I had been watching the videos, and I was like, these some good interviews. And then that last one, I was like, fuck.
Yep.
Is this what happened? That shit was hard to watch.
All them shots to the head, man. So Deontay Wilder, I mean, he might have just, since that, to this day, he might have been hit in the head a couple of times. I don't know, but when I heard the soundbite, I was like, what in the fuck is he saying? What is this? These words? What? And yeah, the killing, he saying he get paid to kill is problematic. It's just
like, sir, you get paid to fight. Now, if fighting happens to end up in somebody dying, that's very unfortunate for the deceased. But you get paid to fight. You don't get paid to kill. So I don't know if this is how boxers think. If he is misconstrued, if he's just doing this for dramatic effect, I don't know. Or we don't want to know.
Yeah.
I gotta add something too. Because I got a tweet.
Okay.
About how I was pronouncing Joaquin. All right.
I don't remember you mispronouncing Joaquin.
I absolutely mispronounced Joaquin because I've heard people saying it, and I know I wasn't saying that shit last week, but I was using that name. I don't know if I was saying Joe Quinn or Joaquin. I don't know what I was saying. But I just wanted to let y'all know I'm smart at what I'm smart at. Okay? Linguistics is not one of those things.
I feel like I must not have known who you were referring to, because I wouldn't have let you kept saying it's Joaquin. Like,
listen, I hope me saying Joaquin all crazy
Joaquin
don't take the balance away from whatever little intelligence that I've been throwing out there. But I'm just going to reiterate, I'm smart at what I'm smart at. And it's a lot of shit I'm dumb at. I just try my best at not exposing myself for what I'm dumb at, but here go one of them moments where I'm talking about Joaquin like it's a black name.
Ooh, Joaquin. Like, listen, Joaquin Phoenix.
Listen.
You've never known that that's how.
But that's the only reason. The only reason you know it is because there's actors named Joaquin.
That is the only reason I know. Yeah, because it's
American fucking English just prepare me for shit like that.
Because it's not an English name.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you don't say Jesus when you see it. You know it's Jesus. I mean, you just hadn't seen it enough, I guess, to know that it was Joaquin.
What I'm saying is, American English didn't prepare me for them letter combinations together. Okay, that's Joaquin.
Yeah.
Joaquin. Joa ain't never been no Wa. Okay, and then Keen, you ain't never been fucking silent.
Yeah, it's Quinn. Usually it's Quinn.
You make the and the oo sound. But see, that's that shit. That's that American shit. That's that shit where we so cocky we don't feel like a motherfucker like me need to be cultured for nothing. We're America. Yeah, we got everything we need. We got fucking bald eagles. We got flags. Red, white, and fucking blue stars. We're the first people on the moon. We got all this shit. We don't need no fucking other letters. We don't need no other languages. This is all we need. And that's why motherfuckers coming over here speaking English, speaking 5 languages.
Yep.
Talking shit about you in your face, and you just an American.
Like,
and the only thing you can say is, this is America.
Speak English.
Speak American.
Yes.
They say speak American.
They stupid people do. Oh, did you watch Arthur?
I did.
Did you
man,
hear
I forgot
about
this story?
Mr. Ratburn will be marrying a man in this new season?
Yes. You know what the main shock of this was?
What?
Arthur fucking still being on the air. What the hell?
22 seasons strong.
I didn't know. They was coming out with them DW and Arthur memes.
Yeah.
And I thought the shit was done 10 years ago.
That little fist that they had.
Yeah. Not just that one. It was a whole bunch of inappropriate ones. Yeah, but.
What's her name? Susie? Well, I don't know. The girl.
DW?
Is her name DW?
Yeah.
Okay.
His sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, his sister DW. I was like, Arthur still on?
Yeah.
Shit.
People are angry that Mr. Ratburn, so the kids are going to the wedding of their teacher, Mr. Ratburn, who producers will reveal to be gay. In the episode, it's assumed that Mr. Ratburn is marrying Patty, a female voiced by Jane Lynch, but then a groom enters, and you find out that Mr. Ratburn...
So it's a surprise that they found out in a show, like a soap opera, goddamn.
Yes, like, Mr. Ratburn's gay. Yeah, like
but
nobody
you know
knew.
what? I think people are retroactively angry.
Gay agenda.
I don't think nobody was grown and watching that show.
No.
And then got mad.
No.
And I think the kids watching that show probably used to that shit now in this world. So I think the people that are mad are people who used to watch Arthur, who read the shit, and it's like, they doing gay shit on Arthur? It wasn't no gay shit on Arthur when I was growing up. Oh man, the gay agenda, man. They trying to fuck these kids up, man. They trying to make these kids gay, man. They want these boys like men, man. I don't like this shit, man. Gay agenda, man. Let me go watch some Umar Johnson videos. Like, chill the fuck out, man. That ain't even the worst part of the situation. It's a gay rat.
It
ain't even, and it's an interspecies relationship.
It is.
It's a rat and an aardvark. How the fuck they the same size? Okay? It's bigger questions about this situation, okay? We got continuity issues with this. An aardvark and a rat ain't the same size, number one. Number two, that relationship ain't gonna work.
No, a real relationship.
I mean,
between a rat and an aardvark.
y'all got more shit to be.
He was pissed.
Like, didn't nobody think Barney might be a pedophile?
Yeah.
Okay, he is a grown man as damn dinosaur hanging around kids. Nobody thought no shit about that, right?
No, but they don't want Mr. Ratburn to be gay. It's not okay. It's the gay agenda.
No, fuck that, man. They let all of this different imaginative stuff happen when it come to, kids' entertainment. But as soon as Dora the Explorer come out, why they got our kids watching Spanish? This is America. We speak American.
I forgot about people was upset with Dora the Explorer when that shit first came out. They was
now,
mad at her in
Arthur,
Diego. Now they mad at
you ain't gave a fuck about Mr. Ratburn as no character no way this whole time. Okay? Let Mr. Ratburn get married, okay? Listen, y'all. This is the world we got. This is the world we got. And I know people are trying to manipulate legislation to create the world that they want. But this is the world we got, man. I'm going to teach my kids about inclusion. I'm going to teach my children about diversity. I'm going to introduce my children to other languages. I'm going to make sure my children know that if their sexuality is something different than what society says it should be, that they'll still be accepted by me. Like, because the reality is the world has changed and it's continued to change. Yeah. And a lot of conservatives, I'm sorry to go back to that shit, but a lot of conservatives have the dialogue about changing shit and finding new ways of dealing with stuff. But they never have no solutions. Nope. The essence of the fucking word conservative means to keep shit the same.
To conserve.
Okay? Yep. They are not interested in finding new ways of shit. They are interested
conserving
in
the
taking
old ways.
Shit back and conserving those old ways. And it's the same when it comes to new ways of people existing, like homosexuality. People think homosexuality just came out of nowhere in the last however many years. Bitch, no. We just had a society that would drag your ass down the street on a truck as much as if you was black as if you was gay. Just depending on which one you were in the moment. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason that it didn't happen more with gay people is because you can't see gay from the outside.
Yeah, you can't hide being black.
You can see blackness from the outside like a motherfucker. So we always gonna have issues. And that's not to say that a gay person should hide their sexuality or should have to, because we shouldn't have a society that's so intolerant that we can't even allow a person to make a decision that they want to make, that we wouldn't make for ourselves, but we want to assert our disagreement with that shit on how they respond, how they act.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. I tell folks, who these people sleep with? You don't think about who straight people sleeping with. Why the fuck do you care? Like, this has no impact on your life whatsoever. It doesn't do anything to you, for you, against you. None of that shit.
Look, I don't know what song it was in, but Jay-Z said some of the realest shit. What you eat don't make me shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't, man. Mind your fucking business.
Mind your business.
Or your life will be spared. Wait a minute. That's you. Mind your fucking business so your life will be spared.
Who's that?
Juvenile.
Oh.
I can't see it. Niggas try to make me holler, bitch, I can't be it. Till then, I'm gonna be thugging behind a project building. Smoking that fire, be with my ghetto children. Plotting on a way that we can make $1 million, live in large. That Juvenile 400 Degrees album was fucking amazing. Go. I'm sorry.
California bride is combining her wedding with her aunt's open casket funeral to save money on the church.
What?
She's going to have her wedding and her aunt's open casket funeral at the same time so that she doesn't have to rent the church out twice.
Damn shame.
She wrote a thing, dear friends and family of the blank wedding. Some of you have may gotten the news already, but Aunt Karen has sadly passed away from natural causes. We are all deeply saddened about her loss, but we promise that we will not cancel the wedding next week. In her honor, we know she would want us to celebrate and have a day filled with love and joy. That's fine, that part. I would also like to add that the funeral costs are skyrocketing and we will be having an open casket session during some of the wedding processions. Feel free to stop by during the wedding to say goodbye. She will be on display for those who wish to gain some closure. Remember, even though losing loved ones we love can be heartbreaking, there is also joy in celebrating love and partnership in marriage. We are excited to see you all there on Saturday. What? Oh, how are you going to have those two? One is a happy occasion, one is a sad. How you going to say you going to have her on display like she's some kind of fucking museum exhibition? Like,
she probably didn't like her aunt.
She couldn't have to do this. Like, man, that bitch ain't finna ruin my wedding. We having it anyway. If people want to come see her ass, then we'll just have her there too. Like, there's no way. There's no way. That's not going to work. The people who love that Karen gonna be crying and shit and gonna be sad, and you want them to then come sit in your fucking wedding and be happy for you? Those two things don't go together. You can't combine those two things successfully. I mean, obviously you can because she's doing it, but it's not gonna be successful. I can't see everybody walking away from that being like, you know what? I have closure and I'm excited about this new chapter in her life. I just don't see it happening. That is, Now I went to a bridal shower and a baby shower that was combined because my friend got engaged. Then she found out she was pregnant and had the baby shower and the bridal shower together. That made sense. Those are both happy occasions. She's having a baby. She's getting married. So that's fine. You can combine those two things. A wedding and a funeral? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think that...
You can't even put them two words together and make sense. Funeralling. Wetero. Nah, it don't look right.
It's not a good look. Also, this week was a bad week for some of these rappers because
You might as well just punch your aunt in the face while she in the casket. Just do that. That'd be better. Why you ain't cremate her? Like, who's okay with this?
And then it's an open casket, so they gotta go look at this dead lady and then come look at y'all.
Who the fuck is okay with it? Like, ain't no other family member saying, if she do this, I'm gonna kill this bitch. Like, her cousin ain't saying that shit. I swear to goddamn God, if she had my mama sitting out there open at her wedding, I'm gonna kill that bitch. I'm gonna choke her. I'm gonna choke her till the bubble stop. I'm just gonna choke her. She can't crush a windpipe.
Like what?
I don't see why a cousin would not be saying that shit.
I wish the fuck somebody would.
My mama, like, for this shit to happen, she got to have a small family. She got to be one of them bossy family types where she just call the shots, and the aunt have to have just not been well liked. But I don't see why you wouldn't just cremate her and just not even have a funeral service for her then. So she got to be valued enough by somebody.
And then for it to be open casket, talking about you can stop by, she'll be on display. You can stop by. What? What the fuck? And how do you dress? You dress as two different ways for those occasions. I don't know if I'm supposed to dress solemnly in black because it's a funeral, or if I'm supposed to be in spring shit because it's a wedding. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. How do I dress for that?
Okay.
Did you have something?
We got to end the show doing these questions.
Oh, okay.
What else did you have?
Two rappers got shot at this week. YFN Lucci, which I only know him because he was dating Lil Wayne's daughter.
Don't care.
And then Yo Gotti.
Yo Gotti got shot?
Got shot at. His tour bus got shot up after he gave a free fan appreciation concert in Nashville.
It's Nashville. What you doing there, man? That's country capital. They were probably some white boys with fucking America hats on. Let's make America great again. Air Force Ones.
Yeah, we go ahead and do the questions though.
All right, we gonna shotgun questions and just answer them as quick as we can. We can elaborate. You can elaborate if you want to, whatever. Okay. But we're gonna keep going. Now, as I said earlier on the podcast, hey, if you got answers to some of these questions, go to the Facebook page, throw them on there. We're trying to get some engagement up. Let's try to have some conversations, please. Thanks. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
My dad was not strict at all, so 0. And my mom was like a 9.5.
My mama was a 5. It was a middle. Just depend on her day.
We couldn't do shit. If my mama couldn't be there, none of us played sports. None of us had any after school shit because my mama worked third shift. So if she couldn't be there to take you to practice and be there at the game, your ass couldn't be there.
So nobody did shit?
And all we did
Y'all didn't have no extracurricular activities?
Academic stuff.
That's garbage.
Yeah, nobody played anything.
Would y'all have liked to have played sports but just couldn't?
I wanted to be. I got to be in concert band because it was during the school period. I wanted to be in marching band because all my friends went on the march. I couldn't be in marching band. Learned to play the clarinet and couldn't be in marching band. Damn. So we couldn't do shit. If she wasn't there.
So has that created you think for you that created a life where when you have kids, they're going to
be in everything.
Okay.
They are going to anything. Because what I hated about that was I discovered shit that I like doing so late in life that I might have made a different career choice with. You know what I'm saying? Like photography, I didn't realize. I mean, and that maybe not something I would have learned in school. Graphic design, like these are things that had I been able to do extra shit in school, I might have figured out or been encouraged to like explore, and I wasn't. So then I found out I got all of these like little natural talents at shit that it's too late to do anything. So I want my kids to explore all of their options so they can figure out what the fuck they want to do and make a more informed decision than I did. So
Okay, who was your worst teacher and why?
Miss Hewitt. I forgot what her name. Miss Hewitt or Miss Bloodsworth. Miss Hewitt was a math teacher who, until she got tenure, was scared to do shit. She wouldn't let you go bathroom because she didn't want to get in trouble because she didn't have tenure. That's all we kept hearing. She ain't got the bitch. Where you gonna get this tenure? We tired of you. Miss Bloodsworth was an English teacher, and she just sucked because she was this really mousy, small lady, and everybody ran. The reason I know how to play spades so good is because I played in English class.
Mine is Miss A. Smith, 6th grade teacher. She was social studies teacher. She was just an old mean lady. Just old mean lady. Think about that old mean lady at your church. Just mean for no reason.
Oh, my 3rd grade teacher was bad too. Miss Cross. She like a witch. White lady, long black hair.
Might have been a witch. Might have been Wiccan. Who is your favorite teacher and why?
Miss Strickland. The reason I write poetry and know that I can is because Miss Strickland encouraged me to do so in 9th grade. And I had her for senior English too, but she's the reason why literature is so important to me, like Beowulf and reading all of that stuff and like learning that I was capable of writing poetry and writing stories and stuff. So she helped me discover that. So like hands down, Miss Strickland.
I wish I had a teacher that was ever that motivating. My favorite teacher was Miss Cox because she was fine. And she used to call me Ed Lover. It made me think she liked me too. She was like, Ed Lover. I was like, oh, she liked me. I ain't know nothing about meat back then. I was just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
What was your favorite toy growing up?
I don't know if I had a favorite.
So I had a Batman and Robin action figure set.
Okay.
I took them shits everywhere with me.
Okay.
And played with them. And Batman disappeared at one point. So I was just playing with Robin. My dumb ass is just playing with Robin. Nobody like Robin. And it turns out that I found Batman at some point in a hole in the wall that we had. Because me and my brother always like, we big, so we always, if we ever got into a scuffle, we'll knock a hole into the wall.
Hell no.
Yeah, and it was in one of the holes in the wall. And I was like, my brother did that shit.
Probably hit it.
Because I never let him play with him. He threw that fucking Batman in the wall.
I never
out of
said
spite.
shit. Maybe I had a plush. I watched Gummy Bears as a kid. That was my favorite shit.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Yeah. So I had the girl, I can't even remember her name now, but the young girl gummy bear. I had a plush version of her that I would have it. So I was a weird kid. I would have her sitting with me while I watched Gummy Bears, and my mom would buy me gummy bears and I would eat them and watch the show. And I took that fucking thing with me everywhere. So probably that.
Okay. If you could time travel, when would you go?
Undergrad. Oh, like
so you're not going and coming back?
So
however you want to answer it.
So you don't mean okay? Because I
However
was
you
gonna
wanna
say
answer
like, because if time travel, like I don't want to go back further in time because my black ass wasn't gonna have no good time then. So I was doing my life because like any
So
further.
are you saying if you could go back to it and live it from that moment?
Yeah, and with the knowledge I have now though, make some different choices. So
what do you think would be different
if I went back?
So let's answer that question.
Okay.
Instead of just when we would go.
If I went back to undergrad.
If you went back to undergrad and changed some decisions, what you think you would change at this point?
My major, I would not have got a criminal justice major because what the fuck?
How many of the people that you were with you would have still dated?
Probably none of them. Well, no, I probably would have still dated Tarvis because that was just fun. He was crazy, but it was kind of fun. The basketball player would never have happened. I would have went natural a lot earlier and got on the beginning of that on YouTube. I'd be balling right now if I had got on the front end of the whole natural hair YouTuber shit. I would have done, and it was some shit I could do for my dorm room. I'd have been making bank and going to school.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was talking to some kids on my caseload. College was I grew up in a small town. My dad was an alcoholic and everybody knew he was an alcoholic. College was a time where I got to figure out who I was and not be connected to that family. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, it was the time of me figuring out who the fuck Red was and just figuring out what I liked and didn't like about people in the world in general because I didn't have the ability to do that. So it was just a good time in my life, I feel like.
But that makes these conversations hard for me because I would not be where I am right now.
True.
I'm literally, I would not know anybody I know because the change I would have went back and did was I would have never went to Auburn University. And the only reason I even went to AUM was because I could only get the credits from Auburn University
to transfer.
I wouldn't have been able to transfer them credits to some other schools.
See, even if I change, well, I might not have moved to Village Green, and we might not have met.
So it's like, man, you gotta weigh out the shit that I would lose.
Yeah.
I mean, for what I don't know. I still would have people that I value in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm only comparing it to them. Like if somebody knocked on the door right now and had a device that would literally take us back to a time, and they gave us 24 hours to think about it, man, that would be a fucking hard ass 24 hours.
You don't know where you would want to go? I would go back to that. I mean, that was immediately the first thing that came in my mind.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to go, or in the future, but I definitely, going into our past is not beneficial if you're black. So I don't want to go.
Well, I mean, if we could go into our own personal past and go like relive it with the knowledge we have now,
I would not relive childhood, high school.
I think shit. We could relive it with the knowledge we have now.
Yeah,
I might go back to 1980. Goddamn, 4.
When you were born?
Yes.
Why? Why the year you were born? You gonna start from the beginning?
If I knew everything I knew now, man, and my love for those alternative timelines, it'll be interesting to know what the fuck I could impact, man. For real.
Oh, you just want to go fuck some shit up.
I feel like I'll be like, I could stop my daddy from going to jail. But what would that shit do? You know what I'm saying?
How would that have impact? Yeah. I don't know. College would be where I would go. Undergrad, not grad school.
You don't think you could go back to your childhood and do anything that would
change anything? No. Because
you could at least reduce some of the whoopings you would have got.
I don't care
the shit you did.
But them whoopings didn't do shit to me. The whoopings ain't even the trauma. So like I don't give a shit about them whoopings. I don't feel like I could do anything that would. My dad was going to be an alcoholic. My mom was going to be enabling because of her own past with her own father. It was a cycle thing. So I don't think I could have went back and did anything as a kid that would have changed. Go back and
slap your daddy while he was passed out drunk.
Got my ass whooped
while he was passed out drunk.
If my mama saw me, I still would have got my ass.
I know you done walked in and seen your daddy passed out drunk without your mama being around.
Oh yeah, and wanted to kick him. Man, look,
you'd go in there and slap his ass like baby powder from how high, straight across the face.
We would go sometimes, and I would just be so mad, like, look at this motherfucker, like, just want to kick him because he be on the floor. I would never do that, but like in my mind, I whooped his ass a many times.
I need to go back. Like my mama told me that daddy used to hide money all around the house. I feel like as a kid, I should go. I should probably go get money,
collect all of it,
hide, bury it in the ground. You know what I'm saying? Or do something. Well, my mama did also tell me a story about one time he misplaced his own money and thought she had took it, so it turned into a situation.
So that might not have been good.
That probably would have been a bad idea. It would have been like the butterfly effect. You know, when you go back and you start changing shit, and then because I took the money, I watched my mama get her ass beat in the living room.
Yep.
like shit. How do I fix this?
It's gonna be like when you fucked your brother over with that whole writing his name in lipstick on the thing, and he got a whooping and you didn't.
Yeah. But that's an interesting conversation to have. Hey, this is an interesting conversation. If you're listening to the podcast, give us some feedback about where you would go back in time in your life to change. If you would do it, would you go back? Would you take the risk? Let's see. What's your best childhood memory?
This is so stupid. I used to go to Huntsville and spend summers up there because my cousin's the only child. And I have 3 brothers, so like our moms were just like, they're girls, they can hang out together. And my cousin was cooler than me, and she had her friends, and I was just kind of this thing that she didn't really want to have to deal with. So I ended up hanging out with her dad a lot of times because I was the kind of person that if I know you don't want me around, I'm not gonna force it. You know what I'm saying? So they would be like, "Oh, Crystal's going to do this. You could go," and I knew she didn't want me to go, so I'd just be like, "No, I don't feel well. I'm just gonna, because I ain't finna go and be somewhere where I ain't fucking wanted all day. This fuck I look like."
And this was your cousin who didn't want to be with you?
Yeah, because she was a teenager and like we're close.
How much
now.
older is she than you?
She's not that, but you got to understand, I was like stunted because of being in the household that I was in, and and I didn't drag, Crystal had the best of everything, and I came up there with my little raggedy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wasn't the cousin that you want to like introduce to your friends. Like if you're
you and her ever had that conversation?
We haven't talked about it. Because what I found out is that I thought she was this really super confident, like, and she had her own securities at that time that I knew nothing about, because all I could see is you got both of your parents are cool and they do stuff with you. Your dad doesn't drink and you don't have to, you always have food. You ain't got to worry about, you ain't got to eat ramen noodles because you ain't got, like, I just looked at her life and thought it was so perfect. And so as we've gotten older and we've gotten to know each other better, I realized that there was shit going on in her life that I had no idea about. But so one of those times that she went off with her friends and I stayed, her dad took me to the PX because they're both ex-military. So we went on base, and it was the first time I played The Sims. And he bought me the original Sims game, and it didn't really matter up there. It was kind of fun, but like going back home and being able to create a space with a life like what I wanted to have as opposed to what I had was so helpful to me. So him buying, and he has no idea, I've never told him this, but him buying me that Sims game helped so much when I went back home. Because I always hated going up there because it was so cool. We did stuff together. They were like a family. I didn't like going up there because like I would get used to that, and then I got to go back to what I'm used to, and I hated it. And so it took me so long to get like half of the trip would be me like being standoffish because I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back home anyway. And then once I get involved and then we're hanging out and going to movies and shit, here come my mama coming to get me to take me back to what my actual fucking life looked like. So about getting The Sims for the first time,
it's surprising how little something can seem in general that made such a good time for you.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, my cousins used to come down for the summer, and they was a military family, so they moved all over the place, so we never consistently got to see them. But they would come down every summer, and Terry and Danielle, and they would come down, and we would just have fun. Like, it was just not fun when it was just me and my brother. But when Terry and Danielle came down, it was all four of us. We lived next door to my grandparents, so they slept over there and we slept next door. But all during the summer, we would just wake up and go straight to grandmama and them house. We get up and play, and every time at some point in the summer, they parents, Aunt Regina, Uncle Terry, would send them a box full of toys. And I know they were theirs, you know what I'm saying? But like, they were so open to let us play with the toys and things of that nature. So it was just exciting. One thing, I think I told this story in the podcast before, one thing that happened is my granddaddy used to have us walk around the block every morning. And I don't know why, but me and my cousin and my brother my cousin was telling us about a magazine that he found out about called a Playboy.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, oh, what a Playboy. So we was just talking about it. And it was like, it'll be cool if we found a Playboy. And we continued walking. And there was a Playboy magazine in the middle of the street. This is the kind of shit that happened in my life that make me think it's something some universal force out there is dictating some shit. I don't know if I want to call it God. I don't know if it's just like a trickster type situation where it's like, all right then. But we were talking about a Playboy, and a Playboy was just in the middle of the fucking road. In the middle of the road, like straight. Like, I'm saying, if you can align the edge of the road with how the spine of the magazine, and you could measure out between the curbs where the exact middle of the road was, it was right there, seemingly for us, untouched, brand new.
That's funny.
Playboy magazine. And we like hid it over in the bushes. So for the next 3 or 4 days, we were just trying to go walk around the block until it rained. Until it rained, and then it rained on it. But that's like one of those magical childhood moments where it's like, oh man, I remember that. And we just had fun with them.
I just realized, because that was the first thing that popped in my mind, but I just realized like how much that meant to me, The Sims. Because everybody always asks me about, like, you play The Sims? I don't really play as much now. I did in college still. I played hardcore in college still a lot. And I never realized that was where it began from, but that's why I play The Sims.
I bet it was hard to realize what kind of daddy a daddy could be and then go back to your daddy.
Yep. The first time I spent, because my Uncle Tony is like If any mom that has a daughter, any dad that has a daughter that want their daughter to get with a good guy, the good guy they are describing is my Uncle Tony. My Uncle Tony is amazing. Like, he caters to my aunt and my cousin. Like, he is an amazing man. He got his faults, but he's such a good guy. And so the first time, they treated me like their daughter when I was up there. Okay, like, actually, I found out when I was older that my aunt had talked to my mom about me, because she knew how fucked up shit was at our house, and they couldn't have any more kids, about me moving in with them and like going to school in Huntsville. And I used to have resentment at my mom for her not. It's like, what the fuck you kept me here for? Like, I could have went up there and went to a different school and had a better education. Like, I could have been involved, because Crystal was involved. Her parents were the parents that anything she wanted, ballet, whatever it is she wanted to try out, they let her try it out. But he always treated me like his kid. Like, I never felt different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he never like would do something for Crystal that he wouldn't do for me. Like, he treated me like I was their daughter when I was up there. And so yeah, it was hard. That was sucky. Like I said, it took me forever to get comfortable, because I know it's like, I don't want to get used to this, because I'm gonna have to go back to my shit, and my shit ain't like this. Their house was nicer. Like, they did stuff as a family. They actually went places. My parents worked all the time because they had, factory jobs where they didn't make a lot of money. So to make up the ends, they had to work more hours and inconvenient hours, and we didn't do shit, and I got to go do stuff. So yeah, that was hard. It was hard every and then it would make me mad, because I would come home and my mom would be like, why are you talking like Crystal? Why you don't talk like that? Like, bitch, can I have this? Let me hang on to this, please. Shit. But yeah.
That's gonna be the last one.
Okay.
But let's answer about 6 or 7 of these at the end of every show.
Okay.
And what I want to do, listeners, is just try to find a way to make ourselves more engaged, so that we can get a pattern of communicating back, so that we can get more engaged with the community.
Do any of y'all play The Sims? I feel like I want to know if anybody listening plays The Sims, because I get a lot of shit from people about The Sims. I don't know why.
But this is
why would you want to do that? It's just you living your life. Why would you want to play a game that's just like... Because I can control that. I can't control my fucking life. Okay? I control these little pixelated people, though. Let me live.
So, yeah. I like these questions. It's a list of 68 questions. I like them. But if you don't mind, give us a little feedback on them questions and see how y'all...
what would y'all answer?
Y'all's answer to the question. So, anyway, we at 2:05.
All right.
So, you got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
Well, until we come to the next conversation,
We out.
holla.